Pattaya City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
Good day and Swati Karp and Suksan Wan Songkran. Happy Songkran Day. This is a Songkran style shirt. And today it was very appropriate. The club came back after a long break and we had a very lucky break in having Barry Kenyon here, who's a journalist for Pattaya Mail, as well as many other things, giving us a talk on the last 30 years in Thailand, right? So tell me what your impressions was when you first came here like 30 years ago.
Well, in 1992, when I first arrived here, Pattaya was really much smaller, so there were no high-rises, and the centre of attention was the walking street, which it no longer is.
Well, as I can remember, like the Soy Diana Inn was named after a hotel that was so impressive because it was like 3 stories high or something, right?
Yes, that's right. Many streets in Pattaya were named after other businesses that were there, like Soy Post Office is named after the post office, Soy Yamamoto named after a Japanese restaurant. So it's been a common tradition in Pattaya to do that.
And the Soy Diana Inn is named after a Diana Inn which is no longer with us. And there's been... What sort of things do you miss from, say, 30 years ago?
Well, actually, I don't miss much because I was always fond of air conditioning and lots of restaurants. In 1992, air conditioning was a rarity and restaurants were very few and far between. So for my personal lifestyle, it's much better now than it was then.
Yes, I can remember when I first came in, I stayed in Queen Pattaya Hotel, not maybe 16 years ago, and I had the air conditioning was really weak, and I actually pushed cardboard in so the air conditioning would work when I wasn't in the rooms. I didn't have to put my key in it. So that was what it was like. So you also look forward to what was emerging in the new Pattaya. What does Pattaya have to look forward to?
Well, I think the diversification of Pattaya is the key. There's a lot going on now other than European tourism, which was dominant in 1992. We now have the Eastern Economic Corridor, which is funding new tech developments and hubs all over the province and neighbouring provinces. We have deep sea water ports. We have medical cities being built. So the future of Pattaya, though it will retain some of its characteristics, of course it will, but it's going to change a lot for new markets, especially Asian. I think the majority of visitors to Pattaya in the future will be tourists, but they're likely to be Asian origin rather than European and American.
So you think mainly Indians and Chinese?
The Chinese will lead the field wherever you go, and certainly India, but also ASEAN. You know, the group of nations which have free trade arrangements. So South Korea and Singapore are also going to be very important.
So you think that COVID rather accelerated the changes rather than caused them to happen?
No, I don't think so. I think we'll look back on COVID and see that it was just one of many reasons why Pattaya was changing. The nightclub industry was already in decline before COVID, actually, and the Chinese and then Russian and Indian surge, if I put it that way, into Pattaya had already begun before 2019 and 20. Looking back, I think we'll see it much more in context, the disease, the pandemic, than we do now.
And we have here Peter Malhotra, who's the founder and still ongoing chief of the first and last newspaper in Pattaya. So welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want to say a few words about this man's contribution? And
not too many.
Yeah, you've got 10 words.
Well, we are quite a traditional media. Really, we started out with the print media, the newspaper, and I grew up with traditional media. And when I opened up the Pattaya Mail, I wanted to make it also part of, as one of the traditional medias, a newspaper where people could read interesting stories, full interesting stories, not just the headlines and a few sentences that were made up. And therefore, we tried always to have reporters and reporting to get the who, why, what's, and where's of the story, which in recent years is on a decline. Most of the people are now not doing that. But Barry has brought that back.
You know, he's a very popular, well-followed journalist. And we also have a photographer here. Isn't this guy one of yours?
Well, yes, he also...
Come in and say, no, come on, let's get your face on him. This is what from the... Come in. Yeah, come and join us. Come here, yeah. So he comes and takes photographs for Pattaya Mail and for the Expat Club. So it's really good. I feel like I'm part of a family, briefly, you know. So, many thanks to the Pattaya Mail, who do a wonderful job keeping people informed and also have a wonderful relationship with our club. So from now, it's bye from me and bye from Pattaya Mail and Suksan Wan Songkran.
สวัสดีค่ะ Okay